This is the Academy Award-winning actress Joan Crawford. Despite her status as a global icon, much of her true story remained hidden until after her death. Beneath the surface of Hollywood's bright lights, her life was marked by intense personal battles, deep-seated secrets, and intricate relationships that profoundly influenced her public image and the legacy she left behind. The complexities of her existence included tumultuous relationships with her children, particularly the strained bond with her daughter Christina, who later exposed the darker aspects of Joan's life in her memoir. Joan's relentless ambition often overshadowed her personal happiness, driving her to extremes in both her career and her private life. The pressures of fame, coupled with her fierce determination to succeed, led to a life filled with contradictions. While she captivated audiences on screen, her off-screen reality was often one of loneliness and conflict, revealing a woman who was both powerful and vulnerable, striving for love and acceptance in a world that often felt unforgiving. Born as Lucille Failesor, Joan Crawford entered the world around March 23, 1905, although the exact year remains a mystery. This uncertainty adds to the allure surrounding her life, as she grew up in a time when record-keeping was not as meticulous as it is today. The ambiguity of her birth year allowed Crawford to craft her own narrative, shaping the public's perception of her. This ability to manipulate her story extended beyond just her age. It was a theme that recurred throughout her life and career. Growing up in a modest environment, she faced challenges that would later fuel her ambition and drive. Her early experiences undoubtedly influenced her determination to succeed in the competitive world of Hollywood. As she transitioned from a dancer to a film star, the control she exerted over her image became a hallmark of her persona. This control over her life story, including her birth details, contributed to the mystique of Joan Crawford, making her not just an actress, but a fascinating figure in the entertainment industry. Joan Crawford's early life was deeply influenced by her siblings. She had an older sister named Daisy, whose tragic early death left a profound impact on the family. This loss resonated through their household, creating an atmosphere of grief that shaped Joan's childhood experiences. Alongside this sorrow, Joan had a brother named Hal, who was just a couple of years older than her. Together, they faced the harsh realities of their upbringing after their father abandoned them. This abandonment forced them to rely on each other for support and companionship. The bond between Joan and Hal became crucial during these formative years as they navigated the challenges of their environment. However, their relationships with family members were often strained. There were times of separation and hardship that tested their sibling connection. Despite these difficulties, the shared experiences of loss and struggle helped to forge a unique understanding between Joan and Hal. Their sibling relationship was marked by both love and conflict, reflecting the complexities of their early lives. The impact of their childhood experiences would linger throughout Joan's life, influencing her relationships and her approach to her career in Hollywood. Growing up without her father had a profound impact on Joan Crawford's life. Her father, Thomas, left the family shortly after her birth, plunging them into poverty. This sudden abandonment set the stage for Joan's lifelong desire for stability and success. As she grew up watching her mother, Annabelle, struggle to provide for the family, she began to understand the harsh realities of life. Her mother's tireless efforts to make ends meet, taking on various jobs to keep food on the table, instilled in Joan a strong work ethic and a determination to rise above their humble beginnings. The absence of her father loomed large in her life, leaving her with a deep-seated need to prove herself. This early experience of abandonment shaped Joan's fiercely independent nature, driving her to become self-reliant and resourceful. As she navigated the challenges of her childhood, she developed a strong sense of resilience, learning to adapt to difficult situations and overcome obstacles. Her father's absence also fueled her ambition, motivating her to work hard and strive for success. As Joan grew older, her desire for stability and security only intensified. She became determined to create a better life for herself, one that was free from the poverty and uncertainty of her childhood. Her mother's struggles had taught her the importance of financial independence, and she was determined to achieve it. This drive to succeed propelled her into the world of acting, where she would eventually find fame and fortune. Despite her success, however, the pain of her father's abandonment never fully healed. It left a lasting impact on her life, influencing her relationships and shaping her worldview. Her experiences had taught her to be cautious and guarded, often making it difficult for her to form close relationships. Yet, they had also given her the strength and determination to overcome adversity, driving her to become one of Hollywood's most beloved stars. The legacy of her father's abandonment continued to shape Joan's life, even as she achieved greatness. It remained a powerful force, motivating her to keep pushing forward, even in the face of challenges and setbacks. And though she never forgot the pain of her childhood, she used it to fuel her ambition, creating a life of success and stability that would be the envy of many. In 1913, Lucille, her mother, and her brother embarked on a significant journey that led them to Lawton, Oklahoma. This move was fueled by a desire to escape the painful memories tied to her mother's failed marriage. Seeking a fresh start, they found themselves in a town that offered little in the way of glamour or opportunity. However, it was in this seemingly unremarkable place that Lucille's passion for the performing arts began to blossom. The theater world in Lawton was small, but it was there that Annabelle, Lucille's mother, met Henry Casson, a theater operator who would play a pivotal role in shaping Lucille's early life. Casson recognized Lucille's talent and nurtured her budding interest in performance. Under his guidance, she was introduced to the magic of theater, which sparked a lifelong love for acting. This early exposure to the arts in a modest setting laid the groundwork for her future career, igniting a flame that would eventually lead her to Hollywood. The influence of Casson and the supportive environment in Lawton allowed Lucille to explore her artistic inclinations. The challenges of her surroundings did not deter her spirit. Instead, they fueled her ambition. As she participated in local performances, her confidence grew, and she began to dream of a life on the stage and screen. This period was crucial in her development, as it marked the beginning of a journey that would see her transform into one of the most iconic actresses of her time. Lucille's experiences in Oklahoma were foundational, providing her with the skills and determination needed to navigate the competitive world of entertainment. The lessons learned and the support received during her formative years in Lawton would resonate throughout her career, shaping her into the resilient and talented actress she would later become. Henry Casson became a pivotal figure in Lucille's life, paying for her dance lessons and encouraging her to immerse herself in the world of theater. He let her mingle with actors and other theater people, which provided her with a rare glimpse into a world far removed from her own humble origins. This exposure to the theater world was instrumental in shaping her future career, and she often credited Casson as one of the most influential figures in her life. Without his support and mentorship, she might never have pursued a career in entertainment. His encouragement helped to instill in her a sense of confidence that would serve her well in the competitive world of Hollywood. Casson's mentorship was not limited to just providing financial support for her dance lessons. He also took her under his wing, introducing her to various people in the theater industry. This exposure helped her to learn about the different aspects of theater, from acting to stage management. She was fascinated by the world of theater and was eager to learn as much as she could. Casson's guidance and support helped her to navigate this new world, and she quickly became enamored with the idea of becoming a performer. As she delved deeper into the world of theater, Lucille began to realize that she had a passion for acting. Casson's encouragement and support helped her to pursue this passion, and she soon found herself performing in various stage productions. Her confidence grew with each performance, and she began to see herself as a legitimate actress. Casson's mentorship had helped her to develop a sense of self-assurance that would serve her well in her future career. Years later, Lucille would look back on her time with Casson as a turning point in her life. His mentorship had helped her to discover her passion for acting, and his support had given her the confidence to pursue her dreams. She would go on to become one of the most famous actresses of her time, known to the world as Joan Crawford. Despite her fame and success, she never forgot the role that Casson had played in her life, and she always credited him as one of the most influential figures in her career. Following her family's relocation to Kansas City, Missouri, life was far from easy for young Lucille, who would later become the renowned actress Joan Crawford. She attended St. Agnes Academy, a prestigious institution that offered her a chance at a better education, but in order to afford her tuition, she had to work as a servant. This meant taking on various tasks such as cooking, cleaning, and making beds for wealthier students, many of whom ridiculed her for her lower-class status. The harsh realities of her situation were a constant reminder of the difficulties she faced, and the struggles she endured during this period likely fueled her determination to succeed at any cost. As she navigated the challenges of her daily life, Lucille was forced to confront the cruel taunts of her peers, who looked down on her for her humble background. Despite the hardships she faced, she persevered, using her experiences to develop a strong sense of resilience and self-reliance. These early lessons would serve her well in the years to come, as she navigated the cutthroat world of Hollywood and fought to establish herself as a leading lady. Kansas City marked a difficult chapter in her life, one that was filled with struggle and hardship. However, it also taught her valuable lessons about the importance of perseverance and hard work. As she looked to the future, Lucille was determined to create a better life for herself, one that would be free from the difficulties she had faced in her youth. Her experiences in Kansas City had been trying, but they had also given her the strength and determination she needed to succeed. At the age of 13, Lucille entered and won a dance contest, a victory that would set her on the path toward a career in entertainment. Dancing became her escape from the hardships of her life, and this contest gave her the confidence to pursue her dreams. It was also one of the first public acknowledgments of her talent, affirming that she had something special to offer. Winning the contest was a turning point for Lucille, solidifying her belief that she could rise above her circumstances through her talent and hard work. This newfound confidence propelled her to continue dancing, and she eventually adopted the stage name Joan Crawford. As she honed her craft, she found solace in the world of dance and entertainment, which became her ticket to a better life. The dance contest served as a catalyst, setting her on a journey that would take her from humble beginnings to the heights of Hollywood stardom. Her early success in the contest instilled in her a sense of determination and perseverance, qualities that would serve her well in the competitive world of show business. With each step, Joan Crawford moved closer to realizing her dreams, and the dance contest remained a pivotal moment in her life, a reminder of the power of hard work and talent. As she navigated the challenges of her early life, Joan Crawford drew upon the lessons she learned from the dance contest, using them to fuel her passion for performance and drive her toward a brighter future. Following her early success in dancing, Lucille briefly attended Stevens College in Columbia, Missouri, but her stay was short-lived, lasting only 4 months. She left school to move to Chicago, where she hoped to pursue a career as a professional dancer. College, with its traditional academic structure, held little appeal for Lucille, who was drawn to the excitement and opportunity of the entertainment world. Her brief stint in college was just a stepping stone on her journey toward becoming a performer, and she wasted no time in seeking out new opportunities in the big city. The allure of the stage and the thrill of performing in front of an audience were far more enticing to her than the confines of a classroom. As a result, she made the decision to leave college and focus on her dancing career, a choice that would ultimately lead her to become the renowned actress Joan Crawford. Her time at Stevens College, although brief, was an important part of her journey, as it marked a turning point in her life and set her on the path to stardom. The experience, though short-lived, had a lasting impact on her, and she never forgot the lessons she learned during her time in college. However, her passion for dance and the performing arts was too great, and she knew that she had to follow her dreams, no matter where they might lead. And so, with a sense of determination and a desire to succeed, Lucille left college and set out to make a name for herself in the world of entertainment. However, I noticed that the subject name provided is Broadway Opportunity, but the summary is about Joan Crawford, whose birth name was Lucille. I will proceed with the information provided. Meanwhile, Lucille's move to Chicago was a bold decision, but it paid off. She found work dancing in nightclubs, and her talent soon attracted the attention of an MGM talent scout. In 1926, she was offered a 6-month contract with the studio, making $75 a week, a fortune for someone who had grown up in poverty. This was the beginning of her Hollywood career, and it was clear from the start that Lucille was determined to make the most of this opportunity. Her journey from small-town girl to Hollywood star was just beginning, and she was willing to work hard to achieve her dreams. However, the studio had other plans for Lucille Lesueur, and they insisted on changing her name to something they thought would be more marketable. The name they chose was Joan Crawford, a name that Lucille disliked from the start. She thought it sounded too much like crawfish, and resented the fact that she had no say in the matter. The name change was not something that Lucille was comfortable with, and she felt that it did not suit her. Despite her initial reluctance, the name stuck, and soon, Joan Crawford became synonymous with glamour, ambition, and success. As she began to work under her new name, Joan Crawford started to gain more recognition in Hollywood. She was cast in several films, and her performances were well received by audiences and critics alike. The name change marked a turning point in her career, as it was under the name Joan Crawford that she would become one of Hollywood's biggest stars. She started to take on more significant roles, and worked with some of the most prominent directors and actors of the time. Joan Crawford's career continued to soar, and she became known for her stunning looks, charming on-screen presence, and impressive acting skills. She was a true Hollywood star, and her name was on everyone's lips. The name that she had initially disliked had become a household name, and she was proud to be known as Joan Crawford. She went on to star in many iconic films, and her legacy as a Hollywood legend continues to endure. Despite the initial reservations she had about her name, Joan Crawford made it her own and used it to build a successful career that spanned many decades. She became a symbol of old Hollywood glamour and a true icon of the silver screen. The name change that she had initially resisted had ultimately worked in her favor, and she became one of the most beloved and respected actresses of her time. Meanwhile, in 1929, Joan Crawford's marriage to Douglas Fairbanks Jr. marked a significant turning point in her life and career. This union was more than just a romantic partnership. It was a strategic move that helped her climb the Hollywood social ladder. The Fairbanks family was one of the most prominent in Hollywood, and marrying into it gave Joan access to a world of power and influence. As the son of the famous actor Douglas Fairbanks Jr. was a member of Hollywood royalty, and his family's connections and reputation were unparalleled. By marrying into the Fairbanks family, Joan gained instant credibility and visibility in the Hollywood social scene. She was now part of a family that was deeply ingrained in the film industry, and this association opened doors to new opportunities and connections. The Fairbanks family was known for their lavish parties and gatherings, which were attended by the who's who of Hollywood. As a member of the family, Joan was now a regular guest at these events, where she mingled with powerful producers, directors, and actors. Though the marriage was ultimately short-lived, it provided Joan with the visibility and connections she needed to advance her career. She understood the importance of aligning herself with powerful people, and this marriage was a calculated step in her quest for stardom. Joan was a shrewd businesswoman who knew how to use her relationships to further her career. She was not afraid to use her charm and beauty to win people over and get what she wanted. As a result of her marriage to Douglas Fairbanks Jr., Joan's career began to take off. She started landing more significant roles in films and was soon recognized as a rising star in Hollywood. Her association with the Fairbanks family gave her the credibility and respectability she needed to be taken seriously as an actress. She was no longer just a young actress trying to make it big in Hollywood. She was now a member of the Hollywood elite with all the privileges and opportunities that came with it. Meanwhile, Joan's affair with Clark Gable, one of Hollywood's leading men, was both scandalous and beneficial to her career. Their on-screen chemistry was undeniable, and off-screen, their relationship became the subject of much gossip. The affair contributed to the end of her marriage to Douglas Fairbanks Jr., but it also helped solidify her position as one of Hollywood's top stars. The relationship with Gable, though controversial, showcased Joan's ability to navigate the complex world of Hollywood relationships, using them to her advantage without losing sight of her ultimate goal: success. As their romance blossomed, the media and the public couldn't help but notice the sparks flying between them. The tabloids were filled with stories of their alleged trysts, and the rumors only fueled the public's fascination with the couple. Despite the scandal, Joan and Clark's on-screen partnership continued to thrive, with their movies together becoming some of the most popular of the time. Their most notable collaboration was in the 1931 film Possessed, which cemented their status as one of Hollywood's most beloved on-screen couples. The movie's success was largely due to the undeniable chemistry between Joan and Clark, and it marked a turning point in their careers. The film's popularity helped establish Joan as a leading lady, and her performances in subsequent movies solidified her position as one of the most sought-after actresses in Hollywood. However, the affair also had its consequences. Joan's marriage to Douglas Fairbanks Jr. began to unravel, and the couple eventually divorced in 1936. The divorce was a scandal in its own right, with many blaming Joan's alleged infidelity with Clark for the breakdown of the marriage. Despite the controversy, Joan's career continued to soar, and she went on to become one of the most iconic actresses of Hollywood's golden age. Throughout her career, Joan demonstrated a keen ability to navigate the complex web of Hollywood relationships, using them to her advantage without compromising her values or losing sight of her goals. Her relationship with Clark Gable was a prime example of this, showcasing her ability to balance her personal and professional life in the face of intense scrutiny. As the years went by, Joan's legend continued to grow, and she became known for her fierce determination and unwavering dedication to her craft. Her relationship with Clark Gable may have been a scandalous one, but it also marked a turning point in her career, solidifying her position as one of Hollywood's top stars. Meanwhile, by the late 1930s, Joan's career had hit a rough patch, and her films were no longer performing well at the box office. This downturn led to her being labeled box office poison, a devastating critique that threatened to end her career. The term box office poison was actually coined by Harry Brandt, the president of the Independent Theater Owners of America, in a 1938 article. Brandt listed Joan Crawford, along with other prominent actresses, as stars whose movies were no longer drawing large audiences. This label was a bitter pill to swallow for someone as ambitious as Joan, who had always been driven to succeed in the competitive world of Hollywood. However, this low point in her career only fueled her desire to prove the critics wrong and re-establish herself as a major Hollywood star. Joan had always been a fighter, and she was determined to overcome the setback and continue to thrive in the film industry. She began to take on more challenging roles and work with different directors, all in an effort to revamp her image and prove her worth as an actress. This period of struggle and self-reinvention ultimately led to a resurgence in her career, as she went on to star in a string of successful films throughout the 1940s. Despite the challenges she faced, Joan remained committed to her craft and continued to work tirelessly to improve her skills and adapt to the changing landscape of Hollywood. Her perseverance and dedication ultimately paid off, as she was able to overcome the label of box office poison and establish herself as one of the most enduring and beloved stars of Hollywood's golden age. As she navigated this difficult period in her career, Joan's determination and resilience served as a testament to her strength and character, both on and off the screen. Despite the difficulties in her career, Joan's personal life took a significant turn when she adopted her first child, Christina, in 1940. This adoption was arranged through the notorious Georgia Tan, who ran the corrupt Tennessee Children's Home Society. Tan was known for illegally selling babies to wealthy clients, and Joan's involvement with her later became a source of controversy. Georgia Tan's organization was shrouded in secrecy, and many of the adoptions she arranged were done so without the knowledge or consent of the birth parents. Tan would often target poor and vulnerable women, coercing them into giving up their children, which she would then sell to wealthy clients for large sums of money. Joan's desire to become a mother was strong, and Christina's arrival marked the beginning of Joan's unconventional and often tumultuous journey into motherhood. At the time, Joan was unaware of the true nature of Georgia Tan's organization and the illicit activities she was involved in. However, as the years went by, rumors began to surface about Tan's corrupt practices, and Joan's involvement with her became a subject of scrutiny. Georgia Tan's operation was eventually exposed, and she was forced to close down the Tennessee Children's Home Society. However, the damage had already been done, and many families were left to pick up the pieces. Joan's adoption of Christina was just one of many that had been arranged through Tan's organization, and it would later become a source of controversy and scrutiny for the actress. As the years went by, Joan's relationship with Christina became increasingly strained. Christina would later write a tell-all book about her childhood, detailing the physical and emotional abuse she suffered at the hands of her mother. The book, Mommy Dearest, was a bestseller, and it painted a picture of Joan as a cruel and abusive parent. The book's release sparked a heated debate about Joan's parenting skills, and it would ultimately damage her reputation. Despite the controversy surrounding her adoption of Christina, Joan went on to adopt 3 more children, each of whom would experience their own unique set of challenges and difficulties. Joan's unconventional approach to motherhood was often at odds with the societal norms of the time, and it would ultimately lead to a series of tumultuous relationships with her children. Joan Crawford's relationship with her children, particularly with Christina, became infamous after the publication of Christina's memoir, Mommy Dearest. In this book, Christina accused Joan of being abusive and emotionally distant, which sharply contrasted with the glamorous public image Joan had carefully crafted throughout her career. The allegations depicted a mother who was not only demanding but also often cruel, leading to significant public scrutiny of Joan's parenting methods. This controversy raised important questions about the toll that her relentless pursuit of success in Hollywood had on her personal life, and her ability to nurture her children. While some defended Joan, arguing that the pressures of stardom were overwhelming, and that she was simply trying to instill discipline and ambition in her children, others believed that these pressures contributed to her harsh, and sometimes erratic behavior, The fallout from Christina's memoir not only affected Joan's legacy, but also highlighted the complex dynamics of fame, family, and the sacrifices made in the name of success. The revelations about Joan's parenting style sparked discussions about the often unseen struggles of those in the limelight, revealing that the path to stardom can come with profound personal costs. The stark contrast between Joan's public persona and the private turmoil described by Christina paints a troubling picture of the challenges faced by many in the entertainment industry. The emotional scars left on Christina and her siblings have led to ongoing debates about the responsibilities of parents, particularly those in the public eye, and the impact of their choices on their children's lives. The legacy of Joan Crawford, shaped by both her cinematic achievements and the controversies surrounding her family life, continues to resonate in discussions about the complexities of motherhood and the expectations placed on women in Hollywood. Following her early success as a flapper girl, Joan's career had begun to plateau, but her role in Mildred Pierce marked a significant turning point. Released in 1945, the film was a critical and commercial success, and it showcased Joan's dramatic talents in a way that her previous films had not. As the titular character, Joan brought a depth and nuance to the role that earned her widespread acclaim. The film's success was a testament to Joan's hard work and determination, and it marked a new chapter in her career. She had long been eager to shed the flapper image that had defined her early years, and Mildred Pierce provided the perfect opportunity for her to do so. The role allowed her to reinvent herself as a serious actress, and it paved the way for her to take on more challenging and prestigious roles in the years that followed. Winning the Academy Award for Best Actress was a triumphant moment for Joan, and it validated her years of hard work and dedication to her craft. The Oscar was a culmination of her efforts, and it marked a major milestone in her career. It was a moment of great pride for Joan, and it solidified her position as one of Hollywood's leading ladies. The success of Mildred Pierce also had a profound impact on Joan's personal life. It brought her a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction, and it gave her the confidence to continue pushing herself as an actress. She had always been driven to succeed, but the Oscar win gave her a newfound sense of purpose and direction. In the years that followed, Joan continued to take on a wide range of roles, from dramas like Possessed to comedies like The Women. She worked with some of the biggest names in Hollywood, and she established herself as one of the most versatile and talented actresses of her generation. Through it all, she remained committed to her craft, and she continued to push herself to new heights. Meanwhile, the infamous feud between Joan Crawford and Bette Davis has become an enduring part of Hollywood history. This long-standing rivalry was fueled by a complex mix of professional jealousy, personal slights, and a complicated love triangle involving actor Joan. The tension between the two women was palpable, and their fierce competitiveness only added to the animosity. Although some people believe that the feud was exaggerated for publicity purposes, it was clear that there was genuine animosity between them. The feud between Joan Crawford and Bette Davis was legendary, with both women being strong-willed and determined to succeed in the competitive world of Hollywood. Their rivalry was not just about professional success, but also about personal validation and recognition. The complicated love triangle involving Joan only added to the tension, as both women had romantic feelings for him. Joan eventually married Joan Crawford, which further fueled the rivalry between the two actresses. The tension between Joan Crawford and Bette Davis came to a head during the filming of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. The on-screen animosity between the two women mirrored their off-screen rivalry, and the tension was palpable. The film's director, Robert Aldrich, even encouraged the rivalry, believing that it would add to the film's drama and tension. The feud between the two women was so intense that it has become a defining aspect of the film's legacy. Despite the intense rivalry, both Joan Crawford and Bette Davis were highly respected actresses who were known for their talent and dedication to their craft. They were both fiercely competitive, and their rivalry only added to their determination to succeed. The feud between them may have been intense, but it also drove them to deliver some of the most memorable performances of their careers. The complicated love triangle involving Joan was a significant factor in the feud between Joan Crawford and Bette Davis. Joan's marriage to Joan Crawford was seen as a betrayal by Bette Davis, who had also romantic feelings for him. This personal slight only added to the tension between the two women, and their rivalry became even more intense. The love triangle was a complex and messy situation, but it ultimately contributed to the legendary feud between the two actresses. The feud between Joan Crawford and Bette Davis has become an enduring part of Hollywood history, and it continues to fascinate people to this day. The intense rivalry between the two women was fueled by a complex mix of professional jealousy, personal slights, and a complicated love triangle. Despite the tension, both women delivered some of the most memorable performances of their careers, and their rivalry remains one of the most famous in Hollywood history. Interestingly, Joan Crawford was known for her manipulative tactics on set, particularly during the filming of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. She managed to upstage Bette Davis by accepting the Oscar on behalf of Anne Bancroft, a move that infuriated Davis. This incident showcased Crawford's ability to outmaneuver her rivals, both on and off-screen, which was a testament to her intelligence and strategic thinking. Her actions were sometimes viewed as ruthless, but they also demonstrated her commitment to staying relevant and maintaining her position in Hollywood's competitive landscape. Crawford's behavior on set was often calculated, and she would stop at nothing to ensure she received the attention and recognition she felt she deserved. During the filming of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, Crawford's tactics were particularly evident. She would often show up late to set, causing delays and disrupting the filming schedule. This would infuriate Davis, who was known for her professionalism and punctuality. Crawford's behavior was seen as a deliberate attempt to unsettle Davis and gain the upper hand. Despite her questionable behavior, Crawford's actions were also a reflection of her determination to succeed in a male-dominated industry. She was a true Hollywood legend, and her ability to navigate the complexities of the film industry was a testament to her strength and resilience. Crawford's acceptance of the Oscar on behalf of Anne Bancroft was the final blow to her already strained relationship with Davis. The incident sparked a long-standing feud between the two actresses, with each woman vying for attention and recognition. In the end, Crawford's manipulative tactics had paid off, but at a great personal cost. Her ability to outmaneuver her rivals was a hallmark of Crawford's career, and she continued to use these tactics throughout her life. While her actions were sometimes viewed as ruthless, they also demonstrated her commitment to staying relevant in a rapidly changing industry. Crawford's legacy as a Hollywood legend is still celebrated today, and her ability to navigate the complexities of the film industry remains an inspiration to many. Following her marriage to Alfred Steele, the chairman of Pepsi-Cola, Joan Crawford found herself immersed in the world of corporate America. As the wife of a prominent businessman, she became deeply involved in Pepsi's business operations, often traveling with Steele to various events and meetings. Her presence at these events not only helped to promote the company, but also allowed her to develop a deeper understanding of the corporate world. As she accompanied Steele on his business trips, Joan gained valuable insight into the inner workings of the company, and she soon became an integral part of the Pepsi team. Her involvement extended beyond mere appearances, as she actively participated in discussions and offered her opinions on various business matters. Steele, who was impressed by her business acumen, encouraged her to take on a more active role within the company. Joan's involvement with Pepsi was not limited to her role as the chairman's wife. She was a shrewd businesswoman who recognized the importance of building relationships and networking. As she traveled with Steele, she met with various business leaders and developed connections that would prove beneficial to the company. Her ability to navigate the corporate world with ease was a testament to her adaptability and intelligence. When Steele passed away in 1959, Joan was devastated, but she refused to let her grief get the better of her. Instead, she channeled her energy into her work with Pepsi, using her business skills to maintain her influence within the company. She continued to serve on the Pepsi board, where she played an active role in shaping the company's policies and decisions. Joan's involvement with Pepsi was a defining aspect of her life during the 1950s and 1960s. Her ability to thrive in the corporate world was a testament to her strength and resilience, and she proved to be a valuable asset to the company. As she navigated the complexities of the business world, Joan demonstrated her capacity for growth and adaptation, qualities that had served her well throughout her career. Through her work with Pepsi, Joan was able to maintain a level of influence and respect within the corporate world. Her legacy as a businesswoman and actress continued to inspire others, and her involvement with Pepsi remained an important part of her life's work. As the years went by, Joan Crawford's life took a dramatic turn, marked by a gradual withdrawal from the public eye. The woman who had once been a household name, a true Hollywood legend, began to shy away from the spotlight. It was a decision that would be met with both shock and sadness from her fans, who had grown to adore her on-screen presence. The catalyst for this change was a party she hosted in 1974 for her dear friend Rosalind Russell. The evening was filled with laughter and good company, but the next day, when Joan saw the photos of herself in the press, she was horrified. The unflattering images showed a woman who was no longer the glamorous star she once was. The lines on her face, the weight she had gained, and the tired eyes all seemed to stare back at her, a harsh reminder that time was catching up. From that moment on, Joan retreated from public view, choosing to live out her final years in relative isolation. It was a stark contrast to the larger-than-life persona she had maintained throughout her career. Gone were the days of red carpet appearances, lavish parties, and interviews with the press. Instead, Joan opted for a quiet, secluded life, surrounded by a few close friends and family members. This decision was not taken lightly, and it marked a significant shift in Joan's life. She had always been a woman who thrived on attention, who loved being the center of attention, but now she seemed to be saying that she had had enough. The constant scrutiny, the endless questions, and the pressure to always look perfect had finally taken its toll. As the years went by, Joan's reclusiveness only deepened. She stopped attending public events, and her appearances became fewer and farther between. Her fans were left to wonder what had happened to the woman they had once idolized. Some speculated that she was ill, while others thought she had simply lost interest in the world of show business. But the truth was much simpler. Joan had simply grown tired of the constant attention, and she had decided to take control of her life. She had always been a strong-willed woman, and now she was using that strength to create a new life for herself, one that was free from the pressures of fame. In the end, Joan's decision to withdraw from public life was a testament to her courage and determination. She had lived a life that was full of drama, excitement, and adventure, and now she was choosing to live a life that was quiet, peaceful, and simple. It was a decision that would be respected by her fans, and one that would allow her to live out her final years in the way she wanted. In her final years, Joan's health began to decline, and rumors surrounding the cause of her death started to circulate. Some people speculated that she had died of cancer, a disease that had become increasingly prevalent in the years leading up to her passing. Others believed that she had suffered a heart attack, a condition that had taken the lives of many of her contemporaries. Despite the uncertainty surrounding her health, Joan remained a private person, and her personal life was shrouded in mystery. In the week leading up to her death, Joan made a decision that would later be seen as a sign that she may have known her time was coming to an end. She gave away her beloved dog, a gesture that was both selfless and poignant. The dog had been a constant companion to Joan, and its absence would have been deeply felt attendant by giving it away. Joan was ensuring that it would be cared for after she was gone. Joan died in her Upper East Side apartment in 1977, a place that had been her home for many years. She was found dressed in her finest clothes, a final act of control over her life and death. The image of Joan, resplendent in her elegant attire, is a lasting one, a testament to her enduring sense of style and glamour. Even in death, Joan remained a star, a woman who had lived her life on her own terms. After her death, Joan's body was cremated, and her ashes were placed alongside those of her late husband, Alfred Steele, at Ferncliff Cemetery in New York. The cemetery, located in the heart of the city, was a fitting resting place for Joan, a woman who had spent her life in the spotlight. The fact that her ashes were placed alongside those of her husband was a poignant reminder of the love that they had shared, a love that had endured even in death. Following her death, a final and lasting act of estrangement between Joan Crawford and her adopted children Christina and Christopher became public knowledge, as it was revealed that she had left nothing to them in her will. This decision was not entirely unexpected, given the deep rift that had developed between Joan and her children, particularly Christina, over the years. The tension between them had been well documented, most notably in Christina's memoir, Mommy Dearest, which painted a picture of a troubled and often abusive relationship between Joan and her children. By excluding Christina and Christopher from her will, Joan ensured that the controversy surrounding her relationship with her children would continue even after her death. This move added yet another layer of complexity to her already complicated legacy, leaving many to wonder about the reasons behind her decision. In her will, Joan stated that Christina and Christopher knew the reasons for her choice, but she did not elaborate further. This lack of explanation only served to fuel speculation and debate about the nature of their relationship, and the events that had led to this final act of estrangement. The decision to disinherit Christina and Christopher was seen by many as a reflection of the deep-seated tensions and conflicts that had characterized their relationship with Joan. Despite her public image as a devoted and loving mother, Joan's relationship with her children had been marked by periods of turmoil and upheaval. Christina's memoir had shed light on some of the more disturbing aspects of their relationship, including allegations of physical and emotional abuse. In the years following the publication of Mommy Dearest, Joan's relationship with Christina had become increasingly strained. The two had engaged in a series of public feuds, with Joan denying many of the allegations made in the book. Despite efforts at reconciliation, the rift between them had never fully healed. The decision to disinherit Christina and Christopher was seen as a final and lasting expression of Joan's feelings towards her children. The controversy surrounding Joan's relationship with her children has continued to be the subject of much debate and speculation in the years since her death. While some have defended Joan's actions as a necessary response to the hurt and betrayal she felt, others have seen her decision as a cruel and heartless act. Regardless of one's perspective, it is clear that the decision to disinherit Christina and Christopher has added a lasting and complex chapter to Joan's legacy, one that continues to fascinate and disturb audiences to this day. Meanwhile, it's essential to acknowledge the lasting impact of Joan Crawford's life and career, both on and off the screen. Her unyielding pursuit of success, though often at the expense of her personal well-being, paved the way for future generations of actresses to navigate the complexities of Hollywood. The intense scrutiny she faced, coupled with her unrelenting drive, ultimately contributed to a legacy that continues to captivate audiences today. As the world grapples with the intricacies of her persona, it becomes increasingly clear that the true essence of Joan Crawford lies in the multifaceted nature of her existence, a delicate balance of strength and vulnerability, of glamour and grit. Her story serves as a poignant reminder that even the most seemingly flawless facades can conceal profound depths of human emotion, and that the line between reality and illusion is often blurred in the pursuit of fame. As we reflect on the life and times of this iconic actress, we are left with a profound appreciation for the enduring power of her legacy and the indelible mark she left on the world of cinema.